That's all
Thank you.
filtered out.
All right,
Okay.
so I'm
Everybody,
here. I'm
close the
representing
doors. Trap
the.
everyone
My
inside
name's
now.
Leonard Moskowitz. I'm a candidate for District 2 for County Council,
Got it.
representing the Citizens Party of Erie Council. Our platform is we're running on three major cornerstones, which are civil rights, free enterprise, and increased
Mr. Collier.
government transparency.
That is
And just to break those down a bit, civil rights, where we want to push for
good game.
more civil rights
Yeah,
and
do you need
a
something?
strengthening of the protections of our civil rights. I can tell you from experience, I've been um, harassed
There you
is a
go,
strong
Mrs.
word, but
Davis.
I'm going to use it by certain deputies that if I have nothing to hide, I should consent to a search, and I believe that we all have a right to privacy. It's a basic right, and a basic right in our Constitution is one of no like unfounded searches and seizures, anything like that. So the fact that I had to argue about that for 15 minutes kind of pissed me off at the time. But it's really all civil rights. It's not just privacy. Um, then on the free enterprise front, what we want to do is kind of create incentives for people to create businesses, expedite the process for businesses to go through the committee process, and also create incentives for businesses that open their doors for a certain amount of hours every week. That way, there's actually an incentive for them to open and interact with the community versus just opening a business account and collecting the interest on it. Because I think we've all seen some of that and seen some places closed for a while that are finally open again, which is nice. Um, and then finally, on the government transparency front, ideally, what we'd like to do after talking to the sheriff's department a bit and trying to figure out what could work is start a civil complaints office for any kind of government agency, and kind of work with the focus group that's in place already. Because from what I've been told, is they've kind of been, I don't know if they've been ignored or they haven't really met much lately, but I think there needs to be more civilian input on what goes on inside of the sheriff's department, because I think that could probably reduce some of the animosity between the community and the sheriff's department if we know what's going on and it's not just an agency with the sole monopoly on the use of force on the island. And you know they kind of just sometimes can look like stormtroopers, I know, and I don't want to sling any insults at the deputies here. It's just that's how some of us citizens feel sometimes. And I think if there's transparency in both directions, it would go a long way in improving the relationships between both parties. So that's kind of what our party is about, our political party. The election is on the 26th, as you guys know. And yeah, I'm running in District 2, and I'd be happy to answer any questions or hear what concerns you guys have about the government or the island or anything else.
Well, I'll just chip in here and say Mr. Moskowitz is opposing OSHAC, and that's what we need.
Yeah, that is true.
Got my vote then.
Yeah.
So a question.
I realize that whole speech could have been reduced to a sentence there, but I mean, come on.
We needed something to do. Well, we ate our. I didn't eat any brownies. But well, they ate the brownies.
I need bronies.
I got a brownie.
So a question then. Do you feel like the issues with the
Good to see
do
you.
you feel like the issues with the sheriff's department are something that exists on a on an administrative level, or do you feel like it's just something more prevalent on the street?
To be honest, I don't know. Obviously we've all heard the complaints going back and forth. I think the first step is to get the focus group more involved, and if we see it's on an administrative level, then definitely think about implementing that civil complaints board that can kind of do an investigation after the fact. After IA closes an investigation, if someone's unhappy with the outcome. In most jurisdictions, the sheriff is an elected position. It is not here. So at the end of the day, who is the sheriff's department accountable to? I mean, at the end of the day, you guys are public servants.
I think you meant public savages, but sorry, go on.
Well, both. Savage servants.
There you go. All right, I'll take
So
that.
do you see it as? So do you see the solution then as a reformation of the existing structure? Do you see it as a major overhaul of the department at large? I mean, obviously, any undertaking to shift the department, we got to go one direction with it, right?
I mean, I think for me to say what the solution is now would be premature without doing some fact finding first, which is why if I was elected, I'd want to get the focus group more involved again, and then kind of go from there. I mean, two things we've thought of doing is a police commission and a civil complaints office, but they may not even be necessary. It may be taking it one step further. Or they may be necessary, and then we may need to do a restructuring after that. I don't know, and I won't know until I'm in a position where I can have that conversation and see what's going on both sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd clap, but I'm holding binoculars.
It's all good. Any other questions?
I just want to make sure I hear everything.
Maybe you should be inside then.
No, I got binoculars. I'm good.
Well, you have a parabolic microphone.
We don't buy
Binoculars
hard.
make them hear
Um,
better. For yourself.
I mean, a question coming from someone who's in the party himself, which is kind of weird, but how would
It's
you
fine.
go? How would you go about advertising and helping the civil rights, the added civil rights and stuff?
Well, I mean that's a legislative issue, so it would be all about passing new bills into law that protect civil rights and strengthen our existing ones. So it
say my
depends
name?
on what's happening on a daily basis on the
Someone
island.
say Jack.
I almost feel like
But
this would be more
yeah,
entertaining if it was
it's
alcohol.
exactly what the council does is pass laws. And I know that the judicial branch can veto them, and the council can override. It gets technical, but
It is.
that's our job, is to pass laws. And part of it, what I would do on the council is push for laws that have to do with civil rights. If nobody else had any other questions, I believe Mr. Cotton was asking if I could open the floor up to him.
Oh, if I may pitch in.
Sure.
Officer Conrad Kellner here. Deputy, I mean. But on the whole issue of the department and civilian relations, I feel
Thank
like
you, Mr.
there
Douglas.
definitely have been some,
Much better.
bad eggs, bad situations, and bad things done on both sides. I'm not denying that there is some issue between civilians and the government agencies, but one issue that we're running into is people aren't reporting things. If your rights have been violated, you have to send that to Internal Affairs. That being said, I know some people feel that Internal Affairs isn't, maybe being entirely truthful, or that they are just throwing off complaints.
Well, I definitely think that it's helped a bit that now resolved cases are a part of the public record. But again, this kind of circles back to my feeling on me having to do fact finding first. Once I'm in a position where I actually could talk to the right people about it and get some answers, because I don't want to accuse either side of being the ones at fault for the bad relationship. All I know is that there is a bad relationship, in some cases between the sheriff's department and the rest of the populace. And what I want to do is find out where there's that friction and how we can fix it.
No, I think it's definitely in between just certain parts of the department, maybe. Certain people on the street, or certain situations that happen on the street. Like myself, I've always, tried to be very level with pretty much everybody who I've pulled over or talked to or helped in a situation. But there's definitely a misunderstanding between the department and the civilians right now.
Yeah, and look, I'm a realistic person. I know that there's always going to be a disagreement between the police and everyone who isn't a member of the sheriff's department. It's just kind of the way it is because it's your job to, arrest criminals at the end of the day. And so there's always going to be some of that animosity. But I think what people are most upset about is that they think things can be improved.
Never mind, he's okay.
But nobody really knows how.
He's okay. He moved.
I mean, you've made some good suggestions. People do need to
I thought
report
that guy in the
things.
wetsuit passed out.
But I kind of need to hear from more deputies, people higher up in the sheriff's department, and also the focus group, and other council members to kind of figure out what we need to do specifically.
No, I
fix
still
that
have
problem.
I still have the brown stuff packed in there. From
But
the last time we
the
shoved
feedback is helpful because I haven't really had a
What?
chance to talk to deputies about it yet.
No, I definitely agree that there's
What?
something that
Oh
needs
yeah,
to be
the
done.
brownies. Yeah.
Our department and everyone else. Alright, that was all.
I can't fit anymore.
Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to cripple you guys or anything like that. We're just trying to make it more fair to everyone because people feel as though their rights are being violated for whatever reason, and I'm sure that that fact finding will reveal whatever it is. I mean, it would definitely make people have more confidence in the sheriff's department if they kind of knew that their rights would be respected, which is why we're kind of pushing for civil rights. And like you said and like I said, it's not every deputy; it's some deputies, and they need to be reported for what they've done, for things they've done in the past.
Yeah. And we just brought in I don't even know how many new deputies, but we have so many new people in the department, and that's not to say that their actions should go unexcused, but when you bring that many new people into the department, you're basically just reconstructing the whole thing, from the ground up, because you have a lot more spots to fill.
Well, it's the reason you don't give them a gun right away, right?
Again?
It's the reason you don't give them a gun right away, right?
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is, on the basic level, when you bring that many people into the department, there are going to be some, bad eggs.
If I could say something for a second.
Sure.
That's me.
All right.
If I'm quite new here. I don't know if you've already had this idea or if it's something that's already in progress, but maybe it would be a good idea to set up some kind of community outreach program where members of the community could have a sit down with high-level members of the sheriff's department, and give feedback.
Yeah, I know Mr. Cotton over there is a member of the focus group, which kind of provides feedback to the sheriff's department. And then our thinking is, if it's necessary, to set up a civil complaints board that can have some kind of administrative oversight if it's necessary. And I would kind of defer to the focus group's judgment on that.
Yeah, definitely something I think that would help relieve tensions if the community can say where they're having problems with the police, and the police where they're having problems with the community.
Hey, Jimmy, do you know where those anonymous complaints against the sheriff's department goes?
As far as I know, it was IA.
Yeah, so that might be something looking into changing, because I think the complaint should be public record.
Yeah.
Maybe obviously have someone moderate the obvious troll complaints.
If I can add into that, I actually believe as of the last meeting, they did change that, where all complaints have to go through IA and are public.
Well, I know they have a form also though that you could submit,
With?
and I don't know that it necessarily gets filed on the government website.
No, it does, because I believe what they said specifically was they no longer are taking direct complaints, if you will, like to a specific member. You know what I mean? Like you can't go straight
Well,
to
I
the
believe the
complaint.
problem
Two things.
is that once an anonymous message becomes public information, it's no longer anonymous, and therefore that's why they kind of want to change it around.
Right, and people could figure out from context exactly who's making the complaint. The guy was stopped on this day and told to do this, and now, you know, everybody knows who it was.
Oh god.
Maybe it would be possible to have some kind of autonomous police complaints commission who are run maybe by the civilian population, and then they get in touch with like AI or the police themselves to report any problems that have been need to be addressed.
Yeah, and that's one of the things listed specifically in our platform, but I don't want to jump the gun until I have a chance to talk to deputies and talk to the other council members about what it is that's causing the most friction, because if creating that complaints board is just going to create another forum for people to complain but not really solve any problems, then it's not the right way to go first.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I think the focus group is important. They can kind of identify where improvements need to be made in order to kind of progress in that area.
Just gonna.
Yeah.
You're fucking loud as
Did
shit.
anyone have anything else?
Yeah.
Or...
What?
Is there any way I could sue this guy for wasting my time?
Mr. Cotton?
Alright, thank you, Mr. Moskowitz here. Thank you. I think you did a good job here. Everybody, can we get a little round of applause here for Mr. Moskowitz here? He's a man of the people over here, I'm telling you. I like this guy.
Thanks, guys.
This guy definitely has my vote over here. So everybody, I don't know if everybody knows me here. I'm Mr. Cotton here. You can call me Jimmy if you like. And yeah, I am running for your District 1 selectman. And I'm pretty honored to do this here. You know, it's similar to Mr. Leonard here. I'm a man of the people here. And I don't come to you today just as a politician. I mean, me and my lovely wife, Angela, here, we come to you as fellow residents of the island, business owners. We come to you as just, you know, your neighbors, your friends. We provide a lot of jobs around the island before, and that's what we're going to keep on doing. We're also focusing on the police groups, things like that. I mean, I know that many of you moved here to start a new life. You know, some of you have lost a lot, but you have not lost everything, and you certainly have not lost Kelly's Island. You know, my delegation will bend every resource of the heart and mind in the days that lie ahead. Today we've entered an era where progress will be based on the interest of all residents, no matter how big or small, the farmer, the business owner, it doesn't matter. I'm just a man for the people out here. I'm not going to bore you with all the boring, you know, political stuff. I pretty much stand with Mr. Moskowitz here. I think he said it best. We need to focus on business, police interaction, things of that nature.
We want to make the island a better place to live.
Yeah, we're just trying to make this town a better place to live. So if I can have everybody's vote, you're all right with me.
Amen.
That's right, Steels.
Yeah.
We're gonna give this town hell, everybody. I promise you.
God damn it! I can't whistle.
Jimmy. Wow.
All right, everybody. If nobody has any more questions, I think we could pretty much adjourn this here.
Hey, Angela.
2 vowel sounds.
Hey, everybody go over to Vowel Sounds. Check out the wife's new restaurant. Get a pizza, huh?
Jimmy.
Wait, is the restaurant officially open?
Oh, not yet. We're doing a little impromptu opening. Come get some pizza, huh?
Hey, Jacob.
Pizza sounds good to me.
Good. I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
Can't say no to pizza.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, yeah, buddy.
Thanks for the
600. The rally's over.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna